the only time I felt comfortable to release an album was when I felt like I found a sound for me, and I was not just gonna do whatever just because
Mm.
everybody was doing it. I'm that type of person. I got my own flow. Like, I'm sorry, Yoko Rush. I'll be taking it slow. So
Exactly what you
the
say in
first
your
the first
music.
album was in 2012. That was Courage,
Yeah.
and the second one was Kwanekamba. I'm not so sure which year. I know that it took 3 to 4 years before I could work on another album because the first album was so much work that I couldn't.
Yeah.
Too many
Overshine it.
shows,
Yeah.
yeah, and I had to give it just the right enough time for it to do its thing, and it took
Mm-mm.
me 3 to 4 years. Then I did Kwanekamba, and then after that, I think took another 2 to 3 years, and then that's when I did My Black, and it took another probably 3 years. Then and then I did Lucky Girl. Yeah, I
Oh.
take time in between. I gotta live my life.
So that was your last
hmm
studio album,
Yeah, that was my last studio album. Yeah.
but in between there have been quite a lot of performances.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, it's performances is
That's what you've been busy with
it's life
mostly.
for us as musicians. If you're not performing, then I don't really know what you're doing for life. Because then when you do an album, when you put your music out, people want to see it. Then you gotta enact it. So if you're not on stage, then something's probably wrong.
Let me ask, live performances have you done so far?
I wouldn't even be able to count because I remember there are years sometimes where I'll have 140 shows a year. Imagine me trying to sum
Yeah.
up. It
Per
wouldn't
year,
work.
per year, right?
Yeah, per year you could. Yeah, but that was like a bit back. I needed to do that. But as years go, you establish yourself. You don't necessarily have to be everywhere. So
Yeah.
you can pick. That's where I am right
No
now.
question.
I
No.
pick. I can do just fine with probably just showing up on stage once a month or twice. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who select your music, because I know somehow you are in control of your own work as well.
I am. I'm actually very, very much in control of my work. I'm very
Yeah.
picky. I think producers really have a hard time when it comes to me because, like I said, I don't do just anything, and I
Yeah.
kind of have a little thing that I do, which is like I don't really like to go with the trend. Because I feel like
go
that's a little bit
left,
of
you go
pressure.
right. Yeah.
And it makes me feel like I need to sound like other people, and I don't work well with that. So I work well in my own space, and I've learned to respect my art, and it is. But think about it. If it takes me 3 to 4 years to make an album, not that I can't make it any faster,
Yeah.
by the time I release that album, whatever was in fashion is not going to be in fashion in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so in other words, I make my own thing, and music is just, you can create. I'm a
Yeah.
creator.
True.
So I don't really necessarily need anybody to tell me what to do. I can just get in the studio and decide this is what I want to do. Or I might be actually motivated or feel very inspired by a classical song or it be rock. I listen to all type of music. I don't even have a specific type of music I listen to.
Yeah.
I listen to everything.
What is it that you do that sets you apart from the rest of the well-talented females as well in this
I don't know.
industry?
I mean, I think for me also, the thing is, I'm very cued in. I don't really take too much time broadening too much my spectrum when it comes to like what's happening in the industry, because that turns to disturb you. So I think what maybe makes me stand out is I'm not so well informed with other people's work. And I deliberately do that
For real?
because
Okay.
it helps me create better. You see, the thing is, sometimes you might not even know it, but you might think you could hear a riff in a song, whatever, and then you think like you came up with it, but actually you didn't. You heard somebody else do something like that. But if you're a creator, you like to create from scratch like I do,
Yeah.
you're trying to keep yourself a little bit boxed in a little bit because you're not going to be everywhere. And it works for me. And if I am going to be very honest and I say if I'm in fashion or knowing what everybody's doing, trust me, I'm all over the place because I'm probably going to be there. There are moments, of course, where a producer will say, I really want to hear you on this Mapiano song, or I really want to hear you on this song. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't mind. It sounds great. Or I could boogie with it. I could throw it in for my younger fans. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. I try not to be too, because I don't really like, I love other people's music. Obviously, I do enjoy everybody else's music, but I'm not going to be so fixed on it. Like to really see, what are you doing? No, besides, there isn't time for that.
Franklin, hearing and seeing Stanley speaking right now, right here in the
What?
studio, it's totally different when she gets on stage. Lay back.
I'm grown. What are you trying to say?
But when she gets on stage,
Yeah.
you know, even the last person behind everybody, you can actually hear the same the right person in the front.
I think
You know,
isn't it somewhat of an issue of staying within the domain of the domain of your competence, which
Yeah.
makes it much easier.
because I'm just thinking if you could skip 2 years or 3 years
Mm-hmm.
and then you still bounce back. You know, that is it's unheard of mostly, especially on the international market. You know, where artists disappear for 2 or 3 years, and by the time they come back, it's like, you know, you're not
No,
relevant anymore.
it actually, it
So, but
actually
then when
does
you
work.
do it,
It actually does work. The only difference, like I say, is you have to kind of be content with what you make, right? So here's the thing. If you want to be everybody's special artist, you're probably going to mess up. If you want to be on everybody's list, you're going to mess up. You're going to have to know your market and you need to stick to it.
Yeah.
So for me, I have already figured what works for me, what works for my voice, what my listeners like. So they are okay with, you know, giving me time to work at it. And on top of it, I remember there was a time that I thought it'd be a great idea to release an album every year. But then I just thought that's not going to be possible for me because I actually, like I said, I have a life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a mom. I have things to do. I have other things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I try to live a full life. I don't do eat, breathe music kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because as a human being, you need to do a lot of things to be actually complete.
True.
And if you start to eat, breathe, dream music, you're probably going to have a little bit of mental issues later as you go because other things are going to slack. Other things are you're not probably going to be so great at what you do and have a terrible sense of humor around other people
Yeah.
because you're so indulgent to yourself. So what I do is that I figure that, okay, I like this and this works for me. And I'm also okay. That's the thing. I'm also okay with not being everybody's favorite for a while. You get what I'm saying? So I'm okay with not being, probably not selling any records for the year. I'm okay with that. But one thing I do know for sure is that when I work on my music, I also work on how I'm going to deliver it. And that's the difference. So when I go on stage, I already have the whole act figured out. I script my performances. I know what I'm going to do.
Right on.
So it makes it easy. It's like theater. I did theater too for years.
Yeah.
So when you go on stage, you already know what you're going to do and what you're going to switch up and whatever. And it gives your albums longevity because you know what? People just not going to hear it. They're going to see it.
True.
And when they see it and you give something different or you give whatever it is you've prepared, then it makes it just comes back like, oh, wow, it's fresh. Have you heard Boyz II Men? You know, we've been listening to them since we're kids.
Yeah.
But imagine when they step on stage, you hear different riffs you've never heard before. You're
I
going
think the idea is to have an
Exactly.
experience